A lot of people say I'm doing this out of revenge because we've got beef. I won't deny it. Me and Diddy have had issues. We've been going at it since 2006. He blocked Mace from signing with me. I dissed him in a track. He launched the vodka line. I launched mine. It's been a back and forth for years. You know why he's so desperate to shut this film down? Because he knows we found things. Footage, phone calls, conversations he recorded himself, contracts, NDAs, real receipts. But Diddy ain't the only problem. He's just a symbol. This industry is full of people like him smiling in the spotlight while pulling strings and hurting people behind the scenes. I don't make things up.
He refused to file bankruptcy.
He refused to file bankruptcy?
Well, yeah, because just his ego. I would have filed bankruptcy immediately. I don't mind bankruptcy.
Oh, you?
I'm not gonna pay. I'm filing Chapter 11 so fast, your head's gonna spin. I'll be back, you go, what happened? No, I'm just not gonna pay.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. You let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, because America can be purchased. You can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift. I wish you would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody. And Jay disagrees.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take the trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
Well,
50 Cent has released the second season of his Diddy documentary, and it reportedly includes footage that has not been seen before involving both Diddy and Jay-Z. His claim is that Jay-Z is the person Diddy is now focused on, and that Jay-Z arranged things in a way that left Diddy carrying the consequences alone while he stepped back from it. The points people keep raising are that Jay-Z attended these parties, that he was named in litigation alongside Diddy, that he never appeared in court, and that the case against him did not proceed. One correction is needed there. The lawsuit naming Jay-Z was filed in late 2024 and withdrawn by the accuser in early 2025. A withdrawn case is not the same as a case that was quietly settled or buried, and it is not proof of anything in either direction. The question the documentary raises is whether Jay-Z was operating behind the scenes while others absorbed the damage. That remains a question, not a finding.
Received the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like, they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much.
The friction between 50 Cent and both men goes back to the late 1990s, starting with How to Rob, where he named Jay-Z directly. His position from the beginning was that Jay-Z traded on influence rather than ability. He has alleged that instead of competing on the music, Jay-Z used his position to work against other artists, including timing album releases to land on top of his. The broader claim is that neither man reached billionaire status through music alone, and that a significant part of it came from limiting who else could rise. Interview 50 Cent has said he recognized the pattern early, pointing to what he saw happen to Nas and others who represented a threat. The argument is that the same people publicly presenting themselves as champions of Black artists were privately deciding who was allowed to succeed, and that loyalty rather than talent often determined who survived. These are characterizations of business behavior from a competitor. They are not documented facts.
I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, in the club hit and it was over. And it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this title.
The Super Bowl story is the example people return to most. The claim is that Jay-Z tried to keep 50 Cent off the halftime show, and that it only happened because Eminem told NFL executives he would not perform without him.
Bigger than Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Benny Siegel, and Benny Siegel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing that. Like, oh shit. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close, and I always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was gonna buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and Beanie Siegel, you won't, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that.
Jay-Z and Diddy operated in the same circles from the 1990s onward, but Jay-Z did not publicly support Diddy once the allegations surfaced, and some people read that silence as significant. The detail that fuels the theory is the CNN footage of Diddy and Cassie, which the network reportedly held for years before broadcasting it. People have asked who benefited from it staying unreleased, and why it emerged when it did. Timing questions are reasonable to ask. They are not answers.
And he said, the white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm digging this Jimmy Iovine. And he said, no, Eminem called directly for 50. And he said,
that's his guy.
He said, I can't do it if I can't bring 50 up.
But that's his guy.
That was beautiful.
And guess who's Dre's guy?
Your guy.
Me.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay, so I think people are just gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you gotta remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some haters. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not gonna do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what, some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1 with the 50 Cent.
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What was that? 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole,
of course, but 50 was always competition for this. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after this. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might get on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody has had the effect of.
Some in the industry believe Diddy was deliberately targeted rather than simply caught. The argument rests on how quickly it happened. He went from being treated as untouchable to being led away in handcuffs, with an operation worth hundreds of millions unraveling around him. To people who hold this view, The speed and sequence felt arranged rather than coincidental.
Who was kind of like, we're done with this guy. You're not back. You're threatened to say this. Release the footage, right? So they released the footage. He comes out, issues an apology, while his lawyers accuse the government of leaking the tape. It was later admitted as evidence in his trial. Again, January deal. March is raiding his house, Miami and LA. May, here's a video being dropped from CNN. Even though they've been sitting on it for 8 years. September 2024, book is released, Kim's Lost Words, which, by the way, there's a lot of speculation with this thing here. So whatever I'm reading is not necessarily 100%. It is there, it is not there. The alias they use on who wrote the book is Shanti Millwood, which is an alias for Tupac, which is kind of weird. Why would you use that? This book appeared on Amazon, allegedly written by Kim Porter, accused Diddy of misconduct with minors. Porter's children denounced it as fake. Investigators revealed the real author was Chris Todd, who claimed he compiled the book from a mysterious blast.
50 Cent's position has been consistent throughout. He believes Jay-Z was directing events against Diddy from a distance, and he has said so publicly and repeatedly, rather than hinting at it.
Raiding his Miami home, his LA home. I believe he's being targeted. You believe he's being targeted? Yeah. I believe, somebody, has the power to pull the trigger to make, this stuff, this domino effect happen.
The wider argument he makes is that Jay-Z operates as a businessman first, and that his career has been built through calculated positioning rather than chance. He has described the marriage to Beyoncé in those terms, pointing out that Jay-Z's Grammy count rose sharply afterwards, and noting that their children have received recognition very early. An alternative reading is simply that an artist's standing changes as their career matures and their public image shifts. Both explanations fit the same facts, which is why this argument has never been settled.
Come on with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us, black excellence,
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
Oh,
Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year.
A point critics raise often is that Jay-Z has never served a prison sentence, despite the controversies attached to his name. That history did not begin with Diddy. In December 1999, he was accused of stabbing music executive Lance Rivera at a New York nightclub, and criminal charges followed. He later pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor and received probation rather than a custodial sentence. So the statement that he never went to prison is accurate. The suggestion that nothing was ever established against him is not.
This is with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. No, trophies. The trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
He ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time. He got them shits. He started drinking. His pictures with him like, he thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
Absolutely, been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Why are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal, so I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, so
Diddy also faced serious charges years ago, including a case involving a shooting, and he was acquitted in that matter. The situation now is very different. Diddy was convicted in 2025 on 2 counts under the Mann Act relating to transportation, while being acquitted of racketeering and sex trafficking, and was sentenced to just over 4 years. Jay-Z has maintained he had no knowledge of any wrongdoing. The question the video puts is a fair one to ask. If someone operated at the highest level of the industry for more than 30 years, how much could realistically have escaped their notice? That is a reasonable question, but it is not evidence, and being present in an industry is not participation in a crime. 50 Cent has also described his own early impression of Diddy as someone calculating and constantly aware of how to position himself, which is why he kept his distance socially.
Star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. I'm not a...
None of this was ever genuinely hidden. Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, and others who worked around both men have been making these claims publicly for years. The problem was that almost nobody was interested. While the money continued moving and executives continued profiting, the people describing harm were treated as background noise, and in some cases as unstable. That part of the story is difficult to argue with, regardless of what anyone believes about the specific allegations. It should be said that Jaguar Wright's most serious claims, including those about how Rihanna was signed, are unverified accounts from one person and have never been substantiated by anyone else.
Well, that's why it's only business. It was really, away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. When I say people respond, how people respond to things matter, like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, I spent $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable.
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he's gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names.
Diddy is not accepting the outcome. Reports have suggested that a pardon has been discussed at the White House, with TMZ citing a senior official.
Here's Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Pierce Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam.
Trump and Diddy's association goes back to the late 1990s. Diddy was reportedly a guest at Trump's 2005 wedding, and they were photographed together at a New York charity event in 2000. Several outlets reported that a commutation was under consideration. If that happened, critics argue it would be difficult to justify to people who testified, including Cassie, and would reinforce the perception that outcomes depend on wealth and access rather than the facts of a case. 50 Cent has publicly opposed it. He warned against a pardon on social media and wrote to the judge before sentencing, arguing that Diddy would not change and could pose a risk if released early.
The 100 times that I've seen this being reported, but now according to TMZ, Donald Trump is thinking about giving Diddy that pardon. I will say the wording of this TMZ article is a little confusing, but they are citing that their source is a high-ranking White House official. According to TMZ, Donald Trump is thinking about commuting Diddy's sentence as early as this week. But TMZ cites this source as Donald Trump is vacillating, which means that he's not sure which way he wants to go. He's swaying back and forth, and he's indecisive about what he wants to do. I'm sure the wording about Donald Trump being indecisive on whether to give a pardon or not to Diddy is the fact that Diddy was publicly talking crap about him, because we all know how Donald Trump is. But it can still potentially be a big deal to know that he is even potentially considering a pardon for Diddy at this point, because he doesn't have to consider jack crap. The White House officials who are saying that they are urging Donald Trump to not give Diddy a pardon say that they are not sure what Donald Trump is going to end up doing, because at the end of the day, he does what he wants. We do just know he granted a pardon last Friday to another person that was in Congress. And I think with Donald Trump, we literally never know exactly what he is going to do. But all I gotta say is, if you're about to free Diddy, you also better free those Epstein files too.
Just 3 days after Diddy was sentenced to over 4 years in prison on prostitution charges, President Donald Trump seems to confirm he's heard from the mogul's legal team. The comments coming Monday from the Oval Office as reporters asked about a pardon for Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving 20 years for child sex trafficking.
I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it, but I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be extended from seat, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon. I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Trump and Diddy's ties go all the way back to the late 90s. Diddy was reportedly a guest at the president's 2005 wedding, and they ran in the same social circles.
One mogul after another. It's mogul time.
It's your boy Diddy.
ET's cameras caught them together at this New York charity event in 2000.
If a pardon does not materialize, there is already a second route. His legal team has filed a notice of appeal seeking to overturn the conviction.
50 Cent caught wind of it. He said, man, you can't get no pardon running your mouth like that. LOL, get up out of here. As he had reposted that clip of Diddy talking down on Trump and calling Trump out, as they did have a relationship at one point in the past. Now, Diddy has been very vocal about being anti-Trump, and supposedly this pardon is allegedly coming from Diddy's team now, as he was convicted. We saw what happened Friday, 4 years in federal prison for the two-man act counts that he was found guilty of in this RICO things that he got denied of. But with that going on, he still was ultimately convicted right here. Now, 50 Cent, he gonna jump out there and go at Diddy every chance he get. I feel like he really uses it as marketing, but there is a little sentiment there as Dirty Daphne, that is his baby mama. She is somebody that got up on the stand and testified against.
The appeal argument being reported is that the conviction should not stand because there was no financial motive behind the transportation counts. Further filings setting out the full argument are expected.
News right now, and Sean Combs is taking the first step to appeal his conviction and prison sentence. His attorney today filed a notice of appeal. Earlier this month, the disgraced music mogul was sentenced to 4 years in prison on prostitution-related charges. His lawyers have argued the conviction should not stand because Combs lacked a financial motive for transporting male escorts. More papers detailing the arguments behind the appeal are expected.
Jay-Z built something substantial, but every operation of that size eventually faces scrutiny. If Diddy genuinely believes he was set up, that belief alone could push a great deal into public view that neither man would choose to share. It is also entirely possible that 50 Cent is doing what he has always done, which is keep a rivalry alive because it serves him. Both things can be true at once, and at the moment, there is no way to separate them. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.